Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening to the Good Living Podcast. This is your man, Coke. And today, excuse me, I don't know why I'm bare-chested outside. I know why I'm recording the podcast. It's 10:06 p.m. on Friday night. I was having a conversation with Kachi yesterday, and we often have this gender battle sometimes online when I wasn't here with her. But it's always a respectful conversation, not the noise you hear on TikTok and Twitter. So it was gender related, talking about men and women and roles and things like that. And it was an extensive argument. It started from us talking about podcasts, right? Podcasting. Generally, the idea of podcast to the layman in Nigeria, what they think about is noise. It's people coming together to gist something so that other people can listen to them gist about the issue or talk about the issue. And in a noisy way as well. She gave an example of somebody who had a podcast that her friend was invited to. And it was just essentially them arguing over mundane things like, those relationship dilemma questions. Like if your wife got the opportunity of a lifetime in her career to get ahead, to move to another state, how would you take it as a man? And then everybody now start arguing about the issue. It's kind of like people saying, those prayers where they will say, all right, we are going to pray about this, let God pray for Nigeria, let's do this thing. I pray, everybody starts going, ta. It's that kind of thing. It's almost like that kind of thing. Anyway, and I was explaining how, it is, that is the nonsense, that is the noise that proper podcasts filter themselves through, and then you develop your own niche in that media. So I could go on and on about the way that this podcast is different, or how I said it before getting to what we talked about. How I said it was that I've always wanted to be at the jump or the front of something from a very young age. When Loom ate my 1,000, I don't know if you know Loom. Around the period that MLM scams were running, Loom was one where you guys would join a WhatsApp group and everybody paying 1K and be moving in the circle. When you're in the circle, everybody pays you 1K. Crazy stuff, right? Well, I entered late in some of those things and I lost money. I never made money from multi-level marketing except with Forsage, the one where they used Ethereum. But that was after I had already lost money. So I told myself, in this life, I know that if I want to be rich, I'm going to have to get into something early, at least to be able to do the minimal effort you get. If I don't want to work like a Jackie anyhow, I just need to get into an industry early. Although that was a scam thinking, because even if you get in early, you will still work. To make them, it's not easy. Anyway, I figured that is what I was going to do. Find an industry or something that is new and then just be at the forefront of it. Be on top of it. It's why I'm on top of AI like mad. I'm not vocal about that AI thing. That one is my own personal enthusiasm. And then podcasting. I believe just like music was old, right? There was music is the first form of media. And then they now became, maybe not media is not the right word, but you get what I'm trying to say. Then pictures became another thing. Photography became a career as a result of pictures. People could consume, in the ways that people can consume content for both educational and entertainment purposes. There was first music, and then there were now pictures, and then there were now movies, and then podcasts, right? So your eyes and ears. So podcasting, I believe, is just like music, pictures, video, podcast. Like that is a new one that has come up. And just imagine how big music is. Imagine you're the first musician ever. Can you imagine that? Imagine the first musician ever. Okay, imagine you're the first musician to sing a particular genre ever. Imagine you're the first musician to sing a particular genre in your country. Or one of the first. That's the idea. That's how I see myself and podcasting. the niche of being the all-rounder that has to ask people from different walks of life, different specific questions about their walks of life and get all their life experiences to put it in one archive of a podcast for the sake of anybody who seeks to immerse themselves in general knowledge. That is essentially what it is. That is the niche of the Good Living Podcast. So imagine being that person. That's what I thought. That's what I'm thinking. And then 20 years from now, when podcasting becomes just as popular as music or music and movies are, where would you be? Because of the people coming under you, you'll be forced to just go on top of the pyramid if you're still working, if you're still active in the field, which I intend to be. So that's the crazy justification I was giving for the reason. So even while podcasting at this point now seems to be this bullshit thing, right? I think I recognize this guy from the gym. Definitely. It's him. He's even the shirt and the trouser he wore yesterday. So even if podcasting seems to be this bullshit thing that is noisy and that's what people hear, I understand it's the early stages of it in this country. It's what, is what it's going to look like. But eventually, it will begin to clean itself up. People who are serious, who are carving a niche in the new industry would, create a space for themselves. It's like market share. And that's what I'm doing. Anyway, so about the talk, she said something in that whole argument when we were talking about men and women and that kind of situation where they say, what will your man do? What will your woman, what will you do if your wife gets the opportunity of a lifetime in her career to move up and you have to move cities and you should be earning more than you if she gets that job significantly? Would you move with her? How would you do with your wife? And I was not talking about, gender roles. The man is the leader. It will be difficult for him, but generally I feel like you should. And then we had this whole argument, but then she said something that struck me. She said, femininity and women have evolved. Men haven't. And that is why we have some of these arguments. And she didn't even need to explain it. Oh, okay. She kind of did a little bit, but then I got it. Like, it hits me like, this is fact. Men, like I was saying the other day on that episode, that we have this need to provide. Like, our feeling inside our body is that we are providers and protectors, and then all of that, and then nothing else. And a lot of men don't see any value that they can provide aside money and, security. And so when a woman can provide this stuff for herself, which is what they've evolved to become. Women are no longer those people that sit in the house and raise your children all the time. Like, you can say, okay, evolutionarily, that is how they evolved. That is who they are, if you take it down to primal level. But we are very far from primal level. Primal level now. We're very far from primal level. We are at the point where a lot of the women that you are seeing right now, even as girls when they were small, we're seeing strong women around them doing stuff, earning money, doing all the things that men can do. So it's not as if, okay, this is the first generation of liberated women who can now drive themselves and walk and do all these things. This is not the first set. So when you're telling them this thing about you need to be submissive or you need to stay at home, it's foreign to them. It's you, because your own primal instincts and nature is still very at home to you as a man. You've not evolved into anything new. That is why you think that they've evolved. Feminist movement that started 1965, like, they've evolved. So this thing is why it triggers them a lot when you tell them they have to be certain ways. It's only in certain cultures, like in Nigeria, that traditional feminism still exists. Even though I still hold the belief that if you embrace the traditional calling of your gender, you would be very fulfilled. But if somebody is already finding fulfillment, for example, what you don't know. Even if you'll be more fulfilled in that one, you don't know. So if she's already finding fulfillment in her hustle, her career, her job, and all of that, you can't tell her that this new thing is what you should be doing with your life. It's annoying. It's jarring. And if men want to be having that argument, it's annoying to the women because where are you bringing it from? We did not see anybody that lived like that. We've seen people live the way we are living now, and it has worked out for them. Career women who are happy making money and being able to afford anything they want for themselves. So the idea that you should, So now what does that mean for men? That means we are supposed to do 10 minutes will now come and pass now. I thought this would end in 10 minutes. We are now supposed to evolve ourselves now, right? find other uses. Because the average woman, well, depending on your socioeconomic class, but the average woman, from my standpoint, does not really need your money. She wants it. It is sweet to eat a man's money, so you have to give them the opportunity to eat your money. But they don't need you for protection. Evolutionarily, women evolved to gravitate towards men who can give them offspring, and then protect them and that offspring by providing food and security for her and her child. It's why a woman, if something happens now, she notices that her husband is probably not stable. You see it in movies now. I'm going and I'm taking Jamie with me, which is their son. And they say, you do no such thing. Like, they already feel that is their inclination. They will leave and they will take their child with them because that is part of them. All the love people are doing, once they get a child, So that they evolved to be gravitated towards protection and provision for them and their offspring. So when it's just them, they want a man with broad shoulders that can. This is what I learned from somebody who did the research. Like, that's why women are attracted to certain features, because it signifies certain abilities that is good for them. It's why then if you now bring it down now to modern day, money, which means going outside to hunt for food and bring it back home. If he has money, he can provide, fantastic. If he's big, if he's well built and all of that, he can protect. That's good. But now women have evolved, so they don't need that stuff like that anymore. So then what can you now offer? When she doesn't really need your money, she's not coming yet. She has her own money, so she's not going to choose life partner based on money. What now can you provide that she can choose life partner based on? It is to help her achieve her other aims. Maybe she wants a child. So yes, you're a good sperm donor. And then she connects with you, he likes you, fantastic. Then are you intelligent? Can you lead? I think leadership is something that you should offer in every situation. I believe that in every situation, no matter the status of a woman, once a man is present, if he decides to take charge of a leadership role, I don't think, and he's doing it well, you respect the lady, you treat her like a lady, and then you lead, I don't think she would want to battle with you in the leadership position, no matter how much money she has made. So leadership is something that is separate from finance and all of that. She might not need your money and anything, but if you can provide adequate leadership for a woman, you are able to deal with an evolved woman. Then emotional comfort and stability. Women cry, they go through all this. If you can be able to stay stoic for her, stay stoic, if she's getting erratic and irrational and emotional and, throwing tantrums, don't be a tantrum throwing man as well. Be the solid rock that she can rely on when you understand. Be the one that can bring her to peace. I will bring her to order and to calm, I don't know how the words to use to describe it, but just be stoic for your woman, because she cannot be stoic. She cannot be in her masculine. She needs somebody to at least help her remain in her feminine, and that doesn't require money. It requires a certain level of thoughtfulness. So men need to think and then evolve, add to your skill set. Having money is good, or at least you can really prefer, because that one now, having money to spend on your woman is also good for your own self-respect and self-satisfaction as a man. So provide for your woman, even though she doesn't need it. But then there are other things now that you need to offer, especially for a woman that doesn't need your money. I guess, that's where my train of thoughts has ended, but I think that is enough for the wise. Men evolve. Women have evolved. I'll make a video about the same thing too. We'll probably drop it on TikTok. Yeah. On the Good Living Podcast TikTok. It's easy to find. We are Good Living Podcast everywhere. Alright. It's going to be the 15th minute. This episode is going to be 5 minutes longer than the yesterday's episode. It is 10:21 p.m. How is everybody doing? You know the truth here. The plan moving forward. Tomorrow I'm recording. I got a confirmation from HO, so we're recording tomorrow the podcast. First episode I'm recording in Lagos. Video in Lagos. I think this is episode 46 of the NYSCeries. So in the discussion group, I know it's been barren. I've not said a word in the discussion group, and that's because the ideas I have for the discussion group. Should I end this episode or should I let it go to 16 while I'm explaining this thing? I'll let it go to 16. I don't have enough time. why move it forward? The discussion group is for when a guest is coming, I describe the guest and their qualifications, and then we can discuss what questions we would ask them, the curiosities we have, and then we can talk about what questions we would ask them. And then list off those questions, and then they will be asked in the episode. That's one reason for the discussion group. Another one is to help us make decisions, certain small decisions you get, and also discuss certain topics like this one if it comes up. But we're not a large group, we're a small family at this point. There's 10 people in the discussion group. So the link to the discussion group will be in the description of this episode. Last episode I wrote why bother. Well, honestly, why bother? This thing is for the archives. The only people who will be able to listen to this are the people who are at least following it right now. And then when we make it, when I unlock it again, the ones who will be able to access it then. I love you guys. See you tomorrow.